Hello there. This is Jennifer McCreath. It is April 4th, Monday, April 4th, 2011. It's been a couple of weeks since the infamous airport customs incident, and I wanted to do a little video to explain, I guess, in detail my perception of what went down. I'm just going to try to balance this camera here so I don't have to keep holding it. The lighting's not very good in here. I guess this will have to do. Anyway, there I was. It was Thursday, March 17th, 2011. I had just arrived from Newfoundland in Toronto Pearson International Airport and had to go through customs before I could get on my next airplane down to the United States. I arrived at the wicket and went through the interview process with the U.S. Customs and Immigration agent. He proceeded to ask me some basic questions about what I was going to do in the States and how long I was going to stay and what, if anything, I was going to be bringing into the country or leaving in the country. I made it quite clear that I was going to visit a couple of friends, run a marathon, and visit a doctor. Presented my passport, and I was sent to secondary screening. As soon as I arrived at the secondary screening office, I was asked to provide fingerprints and a picture. And then I was asked to take a seat for which turned out to be over 90 minutes. Several other people came through the secondary screening before I was served. Conveniently, right after I missed my flight, they finally called me up and started saying, well, we need to search your bags now. And they started asking me all sorts of bizarre personal questions about my sexuality. They seemed to be under the impression that I had had surgery, and they were asking me questions about this surgery that they had assumed that I had had. Ironically enough, I have had sex reassignment surgery, and I'm not quite sure if I went through an x-ray machine. Bottom line is my passport says I'm a male. It's an old passport. My face still looks pretty much the same. My signature is still the same. I have other ID that better reflects, I guess, my new hairstyle. They didn't ask for any of that, though. I think my voice still sounds fairly male. It's quite ironic. Here I am as a trans woman trying to be perceived and accepted as a woman, yet in the airport, I guess, being able to prove that I am a male, which is what my passport says, proved to be, I think, the issue. They were never quite clear exactly what the issue is, but they did say one thing that leads me to believe that I was discriminated against, essentially saying that because of my transgender nature, there's, quote, going to be problems. They didn't really elaborate whether the issue was biological sex or legal sex. That's a whole other issue. Just because you go and have sex reassignment surgery does not automatically mean that your IDs will all of a sudden change. There is paperwork process. It is time consuming. I'll point the finger at the government of Nova Scotia right now because they have not done a very good job at processing my paperwork to get me a new birth certificate. It has now been, let's see now, I think 7 weeks since I applied. Provided them with not one but 2 notarized letters, which I had to pay $80 for, from doctors attesting to the fact that I am now biologically female on the outside. Of all places, the United States, many jurisdictions, they do not recognize sex reassignment surgery in terms of legality. If I was born, for example, in the state of Tennessee, my birth certificate and my passport would say male for the rest of my life, regardless of what surgeries I had and regardless of what my genitals look like. Bottom line, to be pulling a transgendered person aside specifically just because they're transgendered is discrimination. If there were other reasons to believe that I was a threat to their security, that would be understandable, absolutely. That was not the case, though. I was not provided any information that leads me to believe that I was wanted and welcome, and would be treated equally as per any other person passing through customs. I was made to wait a long time without explanation, without justification, really. USA Tourism, if you're out there watching, you might want to do something about this, because I'm a paying tourist. At least I was allowed into your country. I spent money. I rented a hotel while I was there. I spent money at a lot of your businesses buying food and tourism-related things, sporting goods, you name it. Now I'm going to be hesitant next time I think about taking a trip, whether I want to make that trip to the USA or elect to travel elsewhere. Bottom line, I have filed a human rights complaint at the Canadian federal level. It's my understanding that, yes, there is an agreement to allow U.S. Customs officers to conduct business on Canadian soil, but they are required to adhere to Canadian human rights rules. So it's well within my legal rights to file a human rights complaint if I feel I have been violated, which is indeed the case. I have also filed a complaint with the U.S. folks through their internal process. So, bottom line, I don't want anyone to get punished. I just want clarity on the rules and regulations. I want to make sure that people who work at airports are understanding and sensitive towards the issues of transsexualism. People might not look exactly the same as their passport, but bottom line, if they can match that signature and show other ID, if it's a matter of surgery, you shouldn't be looking in, I don't know what type of x-ray machines they have. It's really not an issue what type of genitals people have, as long as they can prove who they are by virtue of having identification. That's really shouldn't be an issue, what your voice sounds like, what your hair looks like, what type of clothing you're wearing. Yeah, education and awareness. There's really no need for the way I was treated. I hope it won't happen again. Sadly, I suspect it may. And a wake-up call to government officials who are in the role of processing paperwork. Get off your ass and do your job, please. I need to get my IDs updated so I can carry on with my life and hopefully have a better efficiency rate of passing through airport security. Anyway, that's the update, that's the issue. In the end, the only real harm, I did miss a flight and I had to pay a change fee penalty, so it cost me an extra $80. Other than that, being a couple hours late getting into the States, it wasn't that much of an issue. The emotional side of things is what really upset me as well. And it's sad that I've almost come to expect things like this, and it shouldn't have to be that way. It's not right, it's not appropriate. And for anyone else who's ever faced discrimination of any type, do yourself and do everyone else a favor. Stand up for those rights, file the complaints, raise the issues. It's the only way the issues will be understood, and the irrational fears and phobias will be understood and overcome. I will definitely keep you folks updated on this matter. Take a look at my blog for updates as well, jennifermccreath.blogspot.com. Thank you very much for watching, and have yourself a great day.